And hello once again, my friends. Today we'll be playing a bit of Cities Skylines. So without further ado, let's kick this off. So we decided that we want to have a look at playing one of these three maps to begin with. I'm thinking that I might start with Lagoon Shore. Now, because I'm a resident of Australia, I'll go with the left-hand traffic. For the city name, thinking go with AFC Bell. Nice. Generic terrible name. Yeah, it's fantastic. Alright, so with Lagoon Shore we have not a lot of oil available to us, but we have a reasonable amount of ore, some farming, and a lot of forestry, and a fair bit of water. All four connections coming in and out. So let's begin. Now I do want to play this Let's Play series as very much just a vanilla experience of Cities Skylines. I'm not going to be showcasing any mods or any maps or anything like that. It's just going to be the generic Cities Skylines. Alright, so as we get started here, we'll just pause this and get rid of the hello dollar box. Alright, so this looks to be the starting tile here. So for people who are new to the Cities Skylines game, you start on a 2 km by 2 km tile, and you can have a maximum of 9 tiles. Now with the tiles, they can go in any direction, so up, down, left and right of any of the tiles that you already have. So from here, the first tile we can get will be on one of these 4 sides, but then from there we can go left, right, up or down from any of the tiles that we had sort of bought from there on. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, one of the main things to keep an eye on is how we do our water. So in Cities Skylines there's 2 sort of water mechanics. There's the water intake, the water pump, but there's also the sewage that we have to try and manage. So as this is a bit of a river that looks like it flows out into the ocean here, one can assume that the flow of the water runs that way. So probably having your sewage down here, so it escapes out into the ocean, and it's out of sight, out of mind, is probably not a bad thing. And for water intake, we might just have it a bit further upstream, so that you end up intaking any polluted water. Alright, so we'll start planning the city to have the water facilities down here. So from there then, we might decide to try and put some commercial down here, or maybe actually some residential down here. Some commercial, and put the industry over here in this off-color grass. Now for those that don't understand the terminology here, the residential is represented by this green bar here. It says there's very high demand for residential zoning, or for houses. The middle one here, which is currently non-existent, says that there is currently no demand for commercial, so for any shops or anything like that to get built. And the third bar over here is our industry, and that is just a blanket name for any jobs. It doesn't necessarily have to be factories or anything like that. It can be a specific industry, like we saw at the map selection screen, where we had the different resources, the ore, the oil, the trees, or the farming. But also later in game you can actually build office spaces, and that was also covered by the industry. So as this is a starting tile and we're not running any mods that unlock anything additional to the game, the first thing you have to do is put down a road. Now the game only unlocks one road to start with. As soon as we put this 2-lane road down, we will then have access to more roads. So to begin with, we'll put 2-lane road just in what we've decided is going to be our industrial area. Down, and as we can see now, we have 2-lane one-way roads. Also got some 2-lane gravel roads, and then as we go further along these tabs, we have more lane roads being unlocked all the way up to our freeway, which currently hasn't been unlocked yet, and any intersections. So we've got some roundabouts or a 3-way intersection. It connects quite well with the freeway, as we can see. Alright, so to begin with, if we have our industry here, now industry is going to need a somewhat direct connection to the freeway. So to begin with, we'll have a 2-lane road that just comes out to, I think about here. 2-lane one-way. And then if we go, it goes about here, I think. We have the, no, it's a bit further on, I think. Where is it? So somewhere around here. Alright, so that one looks like it's alright. So you can only sort of turn that way. So that's probably right there actually. So here you've got two options, but it doesn't look like you can turn in here. It's just a one-way road. That's what we want. So that is our connection out to the interstate. From here, if we draw down to about here, try and maximize the space available. Right, that can be the side of our industrial area. Now, go back to the 2-lane one-way road. We want to have this. We might use the curved road tool in here. Just get this connected up nicely to interstate. But before we do that, just extend these down a little bit with the one-way road. Fantastic. And from here, get back to the curved road tool and connect these up. Alright, so that's going to give our industry a nice direct connection out to the interstate. But we're also going to need a bit of a connection over to our commercial and our residential. So because the residential and the commercial are going to need access to and from here, we might make the road a bit of a wider road. So we're going to start to use one of my favourite tools of this game. It's the elevation of the roads. So just page up to raise it and page down to lower it back again. Start with putting, go back to the straight tool. Start with putting the road over the interstate connection. Over there, and then get this back down to ground level. The other side. So from here we'll just connect on up. Back here, and then just extend this on a bit. Connect this up. So now from here, extend that a little bit further, and we'll go back and I'll put the commercial just here now. Right, so that's our commercial. And then extend this one along a bit, and have what will be more of a direct connection for the residential. Alright, so that's a nice basic, simple plan here. It's very square grid at the moment, but it should help increase the density of the area. Alright, so now probably the second most important thing is to let's find some electricity down. So we have two options available to us at the start of the game. We have wind turbines to produce green energy, or we have coal power plants, which will produce a little bit of pollution and noise pollution. So you can see there on the tooltip, it gives us 50 of both types of pollution. If we go over to the wind turbine, it produces no ground pollution, but it does have an increased amount of noise pollution. So to counteract the fact that this does produce massive amounts of noise pollution, we'll keep it away from the actual the zoning. But also, one thing to keep in mind with the wind turbines is that depending on where you put them on the actual map, if it's in one of these grey areas or as opposed to one of the blue areas, it will reflect on how much power it provides. So in a blue or a dark grey area here, it will produce a maximum of 8 megawatts. But as we move over into these grey ones, you can see it can drop down to as low as 3. And as soon as we go over the even white areas, it can drop down to 2 and 1. So we'll plan on putting a couple of these down in the 8 megawatt regions. We'll go with like 7, so over here it's got 8. Now the other thing to keep in mind with the power is once you pop down the power generators, they will put down a bit of an actual power grid, this blue area represented. And to connect up all your other zones, which haven't been put down yet, but you will need to actually get power lines running to the areas, or you can just have the areas overlapping and they will share power grid to neighbours. So to begin with, we'll get power going through to here. Extend this on as well. Over here to the commercial. Yep, I'm just jumping over and then here we might just jump across here. Further. Let's get over the wall here, and then we'll go over to the residential. Alright, so now we have preliminary power going through to the 3 regions. Now we get the water going. So we discussed before that we want to have the water pump coming from this end here. So the white arrows here in the water do dictate the actual flow of the river. So I'll flow the water. So yes, it does flow out this way into the ocean. And conversely, on the other side, we've got some stagnant water around here that slowly builds up to pick up pace here to flow out to the ocean that way. So we've got the water pipe down here to the edge of our border, so that will pick up water, and then we'll just get the water drain pipe or the sewage pipe. That can just be a bit further downriver. Now we will need to connect these up to power as well, and we'll need to connect them up to the actual town with provided water. So to do that, we just need to run a pipe between this one and the other one, and they don't need to be connected directly, they can be connected indirectly going through the whole town, but the way we've got it structured here, it's easiest to do this way, and then we'll just ride the edge of the tile up to the top, and then come across to provide power to the area. Now, power to provide water to the area. Now, similar principle with the water as there is with the power. The blue area around the actual pipes does indicate where it will be provided with water. So, try to minimise the overlap there. And that's giving most area a bit of residential here is going to miss out. So, here as well. So now our whole town is going to have water. So now it's just a matter of running power to these. So this is their relative power grid, but there's no actual power getting to these, so we just need to start the process, just connect these up, and then from here, just run over to the power here. So now we should have power going through to the water pumps and the sewage pipes, and then going over to our residential, to our commercial, and then to our industry. And so now do the final start of the planning stage. I'll actually put those zones down. So to discuss the actual zoning, we have 3 tools that you can use to actually put the zones down. You have the fill tool here, which does as it suggests, it just fills up a select amount of the actual grid here with the selected zoning. There is the marquee tool, which if we put this at a bit of an angle, works as it just will draw a box and will colour or fill all the relative grid in with the selected zone. Now if you have it like this and you just draw it from anywhere on the screen that isn't part of the grid, it will lock it to the camera angle, but if you do fill it from somewhere inside the grid, it will actually lock it to that grid. So we'll start with the marquee tool, and we'll just fill some of this in. So, now, as discussed, there is a third tool, and that is the paint brush tool. So there's the small brush or the big brush, and this just works as with the suspected paintbrush too. Just paints it like that. Now we'll use the fill tool over here to just fill that in nicely. So, and like so. Now, the way we've got it structured here, I don't necessarily want these two, so you just use your right mouse button to just deselect those, and then same thing for over here. I think it's ideal to have your house button onto what is going to be a bit of a major road between your place of residence, the shops, and your place of work. Now we'll fill the jobs in over here. To the fill tool. I'll also use the fill tool there, and we'll use the marquee and fill from here, like so. Alright, so now we have the basis covered. We have power, and those power lines are connected to that power grid, and they run throughout the town here. We have water, and the pipes are running through the whole town, and we have zoning done. Alrighty friends, well, we've started off our town. Hopefully it should bloom into a great metropolis, but we'll leave that to the next video. So until then, thanks for watching.